Let's see. Let's get this angle right. Hi, Lauren. I'm fixing my screen. It's kind of funny that I can't actually see it until I start the Zoom.
I love that it's an outdoor practice.
Change my name. Visible? Not great. Hi, Emily. I think this just needs to be farther away.
Where are you?
I was planning on shooting in the grass, but then it rained.
What city are you in?
For like 5 seconds, just enough to like get the rain.
Here. What city are you in?
That's just a different angle then. Huh, okay. Good. Maybe up here? Oh, that's wildly unstable. Maybe? Okay. This part. There? Maybe that's okay. Hi! Hi, Bryce. I have a different setup today. I'm on this porch, so I'm sorting it out. I hope you guys can see me. Not great. Okay, we're gonna do it from here. Feel free to give me like a hand moment or take yourself off mute, as you know, if it feels like you need to chime in, or if you can't hear me, if it goes dark or silent for any amount of time. Okay. Welcome. If it starts raining again, you will see me scuttle indoors into a bedroom corner. But it's just, somehow the clouds did go away after the rain that happened. I am hitting you guys from Vermont this weekend. I'm going back to Brooklyn tomorrow, but it's been a really great adventure figuring out how to shoot outside. So I feel encouraged when I get home to maybe try shooting from my rooftop or from one of the parks that's close by. But we'll do that at another time. So this week, I'm so happy to be sharing a Lauryn Hill moment with all of you. For me, Lauryn Hill is super inspiration, but also really helped me navigate, I think, what was a really hard time, you know, at another time when protests, culture, and resistance was a big part of my life. And so some of the questions that she was asking and her experiences as, you know, a young Black woman in America just really resonated with me. So, and never mind, her voice is like an angel, right? So, and I was a singer growing up. So singing Lauryn Hill, harmonizing with my friends, just a really comforting space. So this playlist has been just waving through my week and just giving me lots of pleasure. So I'm happy to extend that pleasure to you all. As expected, this is going to be a restorative class. Nothing too crazy. I have some tea there. I'm going to make sure that my little view is here so that if you guys have anything you want to pop into the chat, that I see it. And if you have any questions, otherwise you can just hit spacebar. You can take yourself off of mute. Let me make sure I can see the chat as well. Okay, cool. Beautiful. So now is a good time to start your playlist if you haven't already. We're gonna wind through today's practice, doing some hip openers, and then think about sort of our upper body, neck, shoulders. Hi, Anna, yay. Okay, so here we go. Find your comfortable seat, get some symmetry in your body if you haven't already. So this can be cross-legged position. You can sit on your shins. I'm gonna use my pillows as a little seat, both of them to elevate my hips. That's gonna make it more comfortable to sit in a cross-legged position, or really any position. You can imagine if you're really tall and you're sitting in a seat that's too small for you, like a kid's seat, your knees are up high and you can't do that for very long. So generally, if you're gonna be seated comfortably, you want your knees to sort of be a little bit lower than your hips. So find your alignment there. If sitting cross-legged isn't comfortable, you can always use your pillows as like a saddle, and sort of hit your shins down, grounded. Wherever you are, start to let your eyes float closed. Find some symmetry in your body. We're just gonna shake off some of the day. Sit up nice and tall. Let your eyes float closed if they haven't already. Let your head be almost like a helium balloon, lifting you up with your spine, sort of that string dangling from the balloon. Start to notice the air all around you. Notice its temperature. Notice its weight, if anything. How does gravity feel today? Now begin to notice where the air becomes breath, your nostrils. Notice it cool on the way in and a little bit warmer on the way out. Along the roof of your mouth and in the back of your throat, filling you with life easily and effortlessly. Now bring that life into your chest a little bit deeper. Inhaling, let your heart rise. And then exhaling, let your heart sink safely back into your body. Beautiful. Again, inhaling now through the top side of your lungs. And then exhaling, feel your shoulder blades and your collarbones really widening and spreading out. Inhaling into the heart space. And then exhaling, let your shoulders fall back and down. Good. Inhaling now into the rib cage. Let it open to let your heart rise even higher. Set your heart free, right? And then exhaling, let your rib cage close, protecting all the miracles happening in your body right now. Inhaling again, now breathing into the back side of your lungs, the broadness of your back. And then exhaling, let your tailbone descend down into the pillows beneath you. Good. Inhale again into the kidney space, all the way to the bottom of your lungs. And then this time, exhale and let your knees descend a little closer to the earth. Breathing into the belly. Let it expand between your thighs to your fullness. And then as you exhale, start to draw your belly button in toward your spine, really pressing out the last ounce of depleted air that might be clinging to you from the week. Let it out. To then inhale even more effortlessly, breathe in to your belly, your lungs, your chest. And then exhale completely. One more time into the belly, into the fullness of who you are, your lungs, your heart, and even up through your head, to exhale in every direction. How far can your exhale reach? Keep it going and going and going, wherever that breath goes. Bring your hands into heart center, palms touching, let your fingers spread out wide, maybe your thumbs resting on your heart. We'll open today with one Om, the sound of everything all at once, and a little stillness in the chaos. Breathing in. Om. Letting that Om resonate somewhere deep within you. Gently release your hands to your thighs. Start to let your eyes flutter back open. Begin to lift the corners of your mouth. Hi, I'm Tara. Welcome to anyone who came a little bit late. Feel free to pop anything into the chat. If you have any injuries, please let me know, either in the chat or otherwise. Hope you have some modifications yourself. But this goes for anyone. If there's anything tonight that you just don't feel like doing or that doesn't feel accessible to you, you can always come back to this comfortable seat. You can always just chill and watch. And if at any point you want to sing along with Miss Lauryn Hill, feel free. She's got some bangers, some real sing-alongs. And you guys are all on mute anyway, so like, live your best life. So what I had in mind was some hip openers, and actually kind of starting there. Yeah, for lots of reasons, but it's a space where we hold a lot of emotions. Sometimes, whether it's feeling extremely emotional or a bit numb emotionally, can be sort of imbalances in this hip space, in this sacral chakra energy. So we're going to open that up a little bit. Just get comfortable with feeling however we feel, and then we'll get into a little bit of neck and shoulders, a little heart openers too. So any other requests or body parts that you guys feel like need love today? We have a small enough group. Feel free to pop that in the chat if you're like, my forearms or something random. But we're gonna get to a lot of stuff. Beautiful. So let's just start off on our backs. We can move the bolsters all off to the side and find yourself seated sort of right in the middle of your yoga mat. And then slowly start to just let yourself roll back along one side of your spine and then the other. You might feel some momentum of your legs depending on what your energy is like here, or you can just let yourself sort of stay on your back. Letting yourself roll. We have these huge muscle groups really protecting our spine, and they need lots of love. Good. So ultimately, I want you to find yourself on your back. And we're going to plant our heels. I'm not sure which angle will be easiest for you guys to see or to hear me, so I'm going to just give me some wave if it's not right. But I'm going to try it like this for now. So I have my two blocks, or my two bolsters, my pillows. I'm going to keep those in arm's reach. And with my feet planted, my knees up, I'm going to just stamp into my heels. I'm going to press my shoulder blades down evenly into the floor, and then press my elbows down as well to lift my hips up. Consider drawing your inner thighs down here for this little bridge pose. So inner thighs shooting down, but your hips are coming up. Let your legs be strong, but let your booty sort of be loose here. Pressing your shoulders into the floor, maybe even shimmying them a little closer to each other. Breathe here, stamping into your heels. And then slowly, one vertebrae at a time, let yourself roll down. We're going to do that one more time. Inhale, stamping into your heels, lift your hips up, shoulder blades down, elbows down, hips high, maybe even heart rising a little bit here. And now we're going to grab a hold of the pillows that we have, and we're going to place them right underneath the tailbone. So I have two. You might have one that's extra fat, or you might have just one, and that's all good. So depending on whatever your props are that you have access to, find that sweet spot just under sort of the tailbone, the curvature of like top of the booty, very bottom of the back. And then let your hips rest down onto that pillow. Good. You can let your hands fall open. And then I want you to cross your right ankle in front of your left and let your knees start to descend, falling down and maybe a little bit open here. Yes. Take a deep breath here. And then bring your hands to your body. Maybe one hand on your heart, one hand on your belly, maybe to your solar plexus, just the space above your belly button. Maybe to your head or to your eyes, wherever you feel like you need some energy or some TLC. Let your eyes float closed if they haven't already. Let your knees descend a little closer to the earth. Take a moment to set an intention for your practice today. Maybe there's something new that you'd like to draw into your life. Some new quality, an idea, maybe a person, a job, something. Maybe there's something that you've already started. Some good habit, some project, a relationship, something that you'd like to continue to nurture, to grow. Or maybe there's something else that you'd like to just let go of, to release. Something that you could let dissolve to make space for something new. Maybe a story, a narrative, again, a relationship or some habit. Let that start today with one breath. Begin to lift your knees and cross your left leg in front of your right, and then re-release your knees. And bring your attention back to your intention. Breathe a little life into it. Another moment with your intention. Gently start to move your hands wherever they are on your body. Just move them in small circles, rubbing in the energy that you created, feeling it circulate from just feeling that intention bubble up inside you. Start to lift your knees up once again. Then uncrossing your legs, stamp your feet into the earth to start to lift the bolsters from underneath you. And then gently roll yourself back down, one vertebrae at a time. Bring your feet to the outer edges of your yoga mat. So if you don't have a mat, that's totally fine. You can just bring your feet a little bit wider than hips distance apart. And then we're going to start to just windshield wiper the knees from right to left. You can keep your hands on your body. Or you can open your hands up to the sky. Good. Feel yourself massaging your lower back into the floor. And then use your hands to gather your knees up toward your chest. Hug them in toward you. And then use your hands to make some circles with your knees in one direction. And then in the other direction. Beautiful. Now we're going to release the right foot down so that your right heel is down on the floor, right knee is up. And then we're going to place the left ankle on top of the right knee. Good. Now interlace your fingers behind your right thigh and start to hug it in toward your face a little bit. Now energetically try to flex both feet and then start to gently press that left knee away from your face. Yeah. Can you relax both shoulders to flatten into the earth? Breathe here. Consider where you might be able to soften, maybe your facial expression, maybe your toes. Exhale here, release the grip on your thigh, releasing your right heel back down. And with your right foot now shimmying over to the right edge of your mat again, a little bit wider than hips distance. I want you to let both knees sink over to the left side, still with that left heel on top of the outside of that right knee. Now, if this feels like, no, Tara, then you can always just drop that left foot off of your knee and still keep both legs sort of windshield wipered over to the left side. Beautiful. If you'd like to use any of your pillows or bolsters, you can always use them as an added weight on top of your legs if that feels good. This is going to be a deep release in that sort of IT band on the outside of the right thigh. From the hips, it runs all the way down to the knee. And I even can release some stuff happening in this sort of sciatica nerve, lower back vibes. This is one of my favorites. Breathe here and soften. You can bring both arms out to a T if this feels good. Maybe let your gaze sink over to the right side. I'm already singing along. I don't know if you guys are, but I feel great. Take a moment to recollect your intention. Whatever you decided to focus on at the beginning of this class, let that intention float back up to you. A little butterfly landing on your fingers. Notice the color of it, how it feels, and just the wonder of it, that it even came to you. And then it flies back away into the universe for support. You can start to lift your knees back up, still keeping that left heel on top of the right knee. And this time, let both knees now sink over to the right side. So now the left heel is going to sort of stamp the inside of the right knee for this open twist. Yeah. Sort of a counter twist here. Inhale, you can bring it up. And I want to bring both of your pillows to the outside of your right thigh. Blah. Cool. So now we're going to hug the left knee in, extend the right leg down to straighten. And once you have those pillows in place, I want you to let your left leg cross your body until the left calf finds that pillow. Yeah. Good. Giving it that support. And then notice if you're sort of peeling yourself over to the right, try to let your left shoulder blade really melt into the earth. And maybe open both arms again to make that possible, or let both arms come up just enough so that your elbows are at shoulder height. You can let your gaze sink over to the left side here to deepen this stretch. Again, if you'd like something as an added weight on top of that left leg, you can use another pillow or just your right hand on top of that left knee. One thing I love about these songs is that so often they're love songs, right? And yoga mat is a super interior experience. I'm thinking all these things, reflecting in all these ways, and sometimes the love song lyrics really hit in a way that is directed purely at myself. That's almost from like this, the yoga version of myself is speaking to last week's version of myself. So when you hear a love song, how can you maybe start to direct that loving energy to yourself? Whether it's describing how much I love you or how much I miss you. Sometimes it gets to a space of just missing that fun version of me or that self-assured version of myself. Like, gosh, you were really great. We had so many good times. Inhale, you can start to bring your left knee back into your chest. You can bring the right knee in to meet it. And make some circles with your knees in one direction and then the other, maybe in opposite directions this time. Yes. And then we're going to drop the left heel down and bring the right ankle on top of that left knee. Interlacing the hands behind the left thigh this time, and just start to bring that left thigh in toward your heart, interlacing your hands behind there. Yes, beautiful. And then pressing your right knee away from your face. Now, depending on your proportions, maybe your hands or your arms are long enough or short enough so that you can use your right arm to push that right leg away from you. But everyone's different, so you want to think about, just the energy of your right knee moving away from you while your left leg moves in. Noticing the difference between the two sides. Without judging it. Generally, we'll have a strong side and we'll have a side that's more dexterous, more flexible maybe. Often the strong side is not flexible, but it's strong, so they just serve different purposes. In different contexts, they can be good or bad. Which means that they are needed. They just are. Just are our body parts serving us all the time in all the ways. Let yourself soften here, maybe in your ankles, maybe somewhere in your back. Exhaling, you can start to release the grip of your hands, letting your left heel come back down, scooting it out to the left a little bit. For me, it's the left edge of my yoga mat, but it might be just some space a little bit outside of your left hip. And then you're going to let both knees sink over to the right side. Oh, we're going to first move the pillows. We're going to first move the pillows over to the left side now, outside of the left back, so that there's space. Hello. For both knees to sink over to the right. Woo. Good grief. This is really, this is exciting. This is feeling really, really good. I hope you guys are feeling wavy too with this release. Through that IT band, through the lower back. And feel free to now open up your arms again. And think about where you can soften. And release any tension. Maybe from your jaw. Maybe from your neck. Inhaling super slowly. Start to bring your knees back up. And then let the right foot stamp onto the left knee as it swings out to the left. So for, again, open twist. Darn it, I don't have these pillows. I'm moving the pillows. Once again. Wherever they belong. Over here for now. And we're going to let the right foot stamp onto that opening of the left knee. Just a counter twist, super briefly. Couple breaths here. And then inhale, bring your knees back up. You can keep the right knee in toward you. Replace those pillows now to the outside of your left thigh. Or maybe you have one big pillow. Whatever you got. Extend your left leg out to straighten. And then hugging the right knee in, let it sink across your body with that right calf now sinking into the pillows. I'm going to use my left hand to weigh down that right knee because that feels great for me. And then feel free to open up your arms once again. Let that right shoulder blade now really sink into the floor and maybe even let your gaze peek over to the right hand. Take a moment to reconnect to the intention that you set at the beginning of class. Except this time, imagine it as if it's already done. You did it. It's done because you did it. Do you breathe differently now that it's done? Do you feel relieved? Are you kinder? Do you feel more peace of mind? Do you feel more powerful? Do you feel better? However it feels for that dream to become a reality, feel that part. And then let that intention, that dream flow back out into the universe for support. But now with the knowing of how it feels. Hugging your right knee back into your chest. Left knee coming in. Again, we're going to make some circles with the knees. And then we're going to separate, use your hands to separate your knees apart. Reach through your knees and grab a hold of either the tops of the shins, your ankles, or maybe the outsides of your feet. Whatever you have a grasp on, I want you to start to slowly edge the heels away from your booty. Good, so your knees might start to angle in toward your armpits here. And I want you to continue to sort of flatten your tailbone down and continue to pull your heels gently away from your butt. Yeah, beautiful. Just opening here, gently let yourself rock from right to left. Again, massaging your lower back into the floor. If you'd like to use your 2 peace fingers to wrap around your big toe here, that's another way to sort of engage with the body. If you'd like to extend one leg to straighten and then the other, go super slow with this. But I know everyone's range of motion is very different. Wherever you are, keep breathing. And then gently start to bring your heels back toward each other. Hug your knees back in. And this time we're going to use our knees moving forward and back to start to generate a little momentum, rocking along one side of your spine and then the other, to eventually sit up once again. Beautiful. Take your time there. Ooh, ooh. Okay, cool. So I'm going to now grab a hold of my bolsters and think about, I'm going to place them. Okay, so I'm going to sit on my shins. I'm going to bring my knees wide apart. If you have a blanket, this might be a nice time to either put your blanket under your knees, or in some cases we might, you know what? Yes, everyone put your blanket under your knees. We're going to be in a sort of a tabletop hands and knees position. So from wherever that lands you with your blanket, pop your blanket underneath there. I have mine folded like maybe four levels of thickness. And then we're going to bring the bolsters sort of long ways in between our hands, and so the front edge of it is right underneath your face when you're in your hands and knees position. Yeah, beautiful. So here, once you arrive, tap out the tops of your feet. Recognize this part of your body that like never gets touched. I mean, rarely. Notice how it feels, the top of your foot, like, oh, right, that's a thing. There's certain parts of my body I only notice when they're injured, like, oh, this cut, this bruise, something bit me, it's itching, you know? So just acknowledge those parts, the low-key parts that still get some love, and they're just doing okay. On an inhale, I want you to find some stillness in your legs. When you take a look back, I want your shins and heels, especially, to sort of, your feet should just disappear behind your thighs. That way we'll know that your shins are really parallel, that your alignment is safe there. So when you take a look back, beautiful. So from here, I want you to inhale, drop your heart down toward the floor, lift your hips and your head for this swayed back, really sort of arching your back here. And then exhaling, push into your hands, push your heart away from the floor, and let your gaze start to come in toward your knees. Inhale, bring it back up, head and hips lifting here, your heart sinking down toward the floor, and then exhale, rounding. Inhale, bring it back up. Exhale, rounding. Inhale, bring it up. And on your next exhale, I want you to sink into your elbows, let them bend. I want you to let your hips fall from heel to heel. Let your rib cage do a figure 8. I want you to freestyle for 4 breaths. Connecting the wave of your body to the wave of your breath. And at the bottom of your fourth breath, I want you to start to walk your hands down the frame of your bolsters, walking your fingertips forward and forward until your forehead or your third eye finds that space on your pillows. Let yourself sort of surrender here in this puppy pose. Your hips are still up. There's not too much of a fold in your knees. Breathing here into your rib cage, feel the back broadening and getting even wider. And then as you exhale, let your heart sink down toward the earth a little bit. Surrendering here. Take a moment here to reconnect to the intention that you set at the beginning of class. Recognizing that it's happening. It's begun already. Breathe a big breath into that intention. And then exhale, sink it down, planting it into the earth like it's a seed. One more big breath in. Then exhale, feel that energy descending deeper, rooting you down. Gently start to inhale and walk your hands back in toward your legs. Coming back in toward your tabletop position. Coming back to sit on your heels. Cool. So this time, tuck your toes under and just sit back on your heels just ever so slightly. So for some of us, this is going to feel like your foot's just having a nice yawn, just opening up the foot, the toes. But for some people, it will feel like your foot is screaming. So we're not going to stay here for too long, but I want you to inhale and bring your arms down just so that your elbows are at shoulder height. Inhale one more time, up, palms facing. Exhale, bring them down. Inhale up. Exhale, elbows down. Inhale up. And then exhale, come on back into tabletop. Good. Again, tap out the tops of your feet. Beautiful. Now start to sink the weight of your body into your left hand. Gently peeling the right arm up and up and up and up and up. And then exhale, sweep the right arm behind the back waist, leaning back into this open twist here. On your next inhale, sweep the right arm back up, and then exhale, sweep the right fingers behind the left wrist. And keep creeping them over and over and over to the left side until your right cheek or right temple, right ear finds that pillow that you had right under your face. Now everybody give your hips a little bit of a wiggle from right to left. And especially notice how your hips want to get snatched over to the right a little bit. So draw that right hip back in space here. Super subtle, that's like a micro movement. And if this feels really awesome, you can always start to creep your left fingers forward to the upper corner of your mat, extending that left arm to straighten. Or you can press into that left hand to twist yourself a little bit deeper here. Continue to draw the left hip back in space now. Gently start to walk the left hand back underneath the shoulder if you had it extended. Pressing into that left hand, start to sweep your right arm back up. Exhale it behind your back. Inhale it to your heart. Exhale. Inhale, bringing that right hand back up, and exhale it down to meet the left. Good. Give your hips a little bit of a wiggle from right to left. Good. If you'd like to tuck your toes, tuck the toes of your right foot under and just extend that right leg back, stretching out the calf and the back of that right leg. Start to pitch your chest forward. Rock up to the tippy toes of the right foot and then press back. Kick through that back heel. That's good. Inhale, rock up. Tippy toes of the right foot. And then exhale, kick back through the right heel. Really stretching out that calf. Oof. If anybody's been on a run this week, maybe riding a bicycle, or just sitting and being a couch potato. Sometimes all these things can wear on the body in very similar ways. Let your right knee drop and tuck your left toes under this time. Good. Extend the left leg to straighten. Inhale, pitch your chest forward to tiptoes, and then exhale, shoot back through that left heel. Pressing into your hands. Maybe letting your gaze sink down, let your head be heavy here. Inhale, rock it back up to the tippy toes of the left foot. And then exhale, press back through that left heel. Inhale, bring it back up. Last time, kicking back through that left heel. Beautiful. And then drop the left knee to meet the right. Now we're going to sink the weight into the right hand, sweeping the left arm up. Exhale the left arm behind the back waist. Inhale, sweep it up. And then bring the left fingers sweeping behind the right wrist. Threading the needle, letting that left ear now come to the pillows. Yes, beautiful, guys. You can always press into the right hand to twist yourself a little bit deeper, or you can start to walk those right fingertips up to the front corner of your mat, extending the right arm. Wherever you are, give your hips a little wiggle from right to left. Notice that they're trying to get snatched into whichever direction, most likely to the right. So you're going to want to start to draw that right hip back in space. But that might just feel like shaking out your tailbone a little bit. Wherever you are in these little twists, I want you to remember that the body holds emotion. We're holding on to so much. So if you have a twist, let yourself sort of wring yourself out of whatever you might be holding that's no longer serving you. This is a perfect time to really release old ideas, old narratives. We have this benefit of this beautiful full moon in the sky right now. We have an eclipse. We have lots of cool energy happening in the cosmos that I think really lends itself to releasing old narratives, letting go, so that we have the space to look forward and reimagine. Pressing into that right hand, continue twisting. And then start to walk those right fingers back in and underneath your shoulder if you had it extended. Press into the right hand, sweep the left arm back. Exhale, bring it back waist. And then inhale, bring it back up. And left hand coming back to meet the right. Beautiful. So everyone bring your big toes together and bring your knees apart, wide. Then we're gonna scooch the bolsters a little bit inside, a little bit closer rather. Cool. I'm gonna scooch a little closer. Beautiful. And so that the bolsters are just on the inside of your knees. Cool. Then with your hands framing them, I want you to just start to walk your hands forward so that your belly has some space that's not on the pillow, but so that your rib cage and your heart finds that pillow. Letting yourself be supported in child's pose here. Let one cheek find the pillows and let yourself be held. Feel your heart beating through the pillows, through the floor, maybe through the floor, beneath that floor, and into the earth. Take a moment to recognize for a moment that we have an entire planet underneath us at all times, supporting you, supporting your intention. Even when you forget it's there. Let your heart beat into that planet. Let your opposite cheek find the pillows now. Can you soften your tailbone to release it closer to the earth? Can you breathe deeper into the fullness of who you are, into your belly? Gently start to walk your hands back in toward your knees. You can remove the bolsters off to the side. Bring your knees in toward each other. And then let yourself just sort of roll over to the side, letting your hips sink to the floor. And we're going to bring the legs right around to the front. I'm going to use my blanket now, folding it another little one level so that it can go behind my knees. So we're going to hug the knees in. And once again, we're going to recline. So it's totally up to you If you want to use one of your bolsters or both of them underneath your spine, that can be a really nice heart opener, sort of a supported fish pose. So what that looks like is just placing the bolster right behind your tailbone while you're sitting up, and then let yourself recline back. If you don't want that, that's totally fine. We'll hit final relaxation pose. I like to have support behind my knees here using my blanket or a bolster, whatever feels good. But wherever you land, start to let your heels really melt into the floor. If you have any layers of clothes that you'd like to replace, this is a time that sometimes can get, your body really cools down. So you might want to replace any layers, socks or something like that. Let your ankles really melt. Release the backs of your knees, any tension there. Let your hips be heavy with love. Let your hands fill with warm sand, sifting through your fingers. Relax your forearms here. Let your rib cage melt. Shoulders received by the earth, as if there's warm mud beneath you. Relax your neck, your shoulders. Relax your jaw. Let go of any tension in your lips. Release your tongue. Let your eyes sink a little deeper into your head, with your eyelids heavy to tuck them in. Relax your brow. Now let your ears sink a little closer to the earth, and let everything go. Gently begin to notice the air all around you and becoming breath. Cool on the way in and a little bit warmer on the way out. along the roof of your mouth and in the back of your throat, filling you with life easily and effortlessly. Begin to bring signs of that life into your fingers and toes and into your ankles and wrists when you're ready. Again, bring your hands to your body, or let your hands meet, palms touching if that feels good. Let yourself roll over to the side. Stacking knee on knee, ankle on ankle. Taking a moment here, shoulder on shoulder into a sort of fetal position. Yeah. Taking a minute just to appreciate this time of transition so we can bring the courage, the curiosity, the flexibility, and of course, our intentions with us off the mat and into the world, where those things are so, so needed. Letting your hands fall to the ground in front of your heart, maybe keeping your eyes closed. Let yourself press back up into a comfortable seated position. When you arrive, you can let your hands come together once again at heart center. Letting your chin drop to your chest. Take a moment just to thank yourself for coming to practice tonight. Such a generous and kind thing to do, to take care of yourself, to nurture your week, to comfort last week's version of yourself, and to congratulate that version as well. Take a moment to thank your body for serving you so well for this hour, but also for all these years, taking you everywhere you've ever been, giving you all the best smells, the best tastes, and constantly healing, even right now. Now find one more thing to be grateful for. As soon as we make a little time and space for gratitude, it rushes in like a flood. You can never think of just one thing to be grateful for. So please take this gratitude practice with you. Make a little time and a little space. We'll close today with one Om, inhaling all together with the happiness that gratitude so often brings. Breathing in. Om. The light and love that is me sees and knows and honors the light and love that is you. Namaste. Thank you all so much for being here today. I'm Tara. Some of you guys are new. I feel so grateful. Thanks for being here. Some of you guys have been at it, been with me. So thank you all so much. Thanks for your donations. Thanks for bringing me into your lives, into your week. This is such a tender time, but we got each other. So tell your friends, tell your people, bring your people. I love seeing you guys with like family and pets and everybody in the vibe. So keep it going. Thanks for the love. Have such a good week. And I'll be in Brooklyn next time I see you. So scene change. Thank you, Crystal. Thank you. Thanks, guys. Thanks, Emily. Thanks, Maggie, Randy, Lauren, Bryce.